Good morning. I'm so glad I didn't go live on all of the other platforms, that I waited until you all came in because you all let me know that I do not have sound or I did not have sound. All right, so welcome in everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, Jawana's first one in the house. There's a little bit of a delay, so I know there's audio now, but we're going to go ahead and get live on every platform. We're going to go ahead and get live on every platform. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Disabled Channel. No. We're live on Facebook. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on Twitch. And we are live on YouTube, which is the main platform. We're going to jump into this really quickly. I'm going to let you all know what the game is today. So yesterday, I went to renew my passport, right? I decided to do the emergency route so that I could get my passport in hand. I wouldn't have to wait, the months to get it in the mail. So I paid the extra money to do, and thank you to, who helped me behind the scenes to be able to get this emergency passport. So yesterday when I was in the passport office, you know me, I'm talking to people, I'm meeting people. It's just it's a part of who I am. So I happened to meet a guy who had been incarcerated for 5 years, right? And we got to talking about what his love life was like. You don't know what FWB is? Can somebody tell OF what FWB is? So the title of today's video is Conversation with an Ex-Convict. Mad or bitter FWB left him. What is FWB, y'all? Tell the people what FWB is. Tell the people. Tell the people what FWB is. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to open up the phone lines, and we are going to use the first 30 minutes for you all to ask me as many questions as you can. What we're going to do is, because when people tell their stories, right? So you all know, for those of you who are just meeting me for the first time, my name is Tonya TKO. I'm a life coach from an accredited program. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, and I am a grad student of psychology on the master's level and at an Ivy League institution. And I understand that that upsets some people, and I can understand why. I'm telling you that whatever your dream is, whatever your interests are, you must go after them now. It may not be perfect. It may not seem like the right time. It may seem like there's a lot on your plate. For those of you who know, you know what I'm dealing with my health and my kidney and all of this stuff that's going on. So please put at least one foot towards it, so that feeling of envy that comes up towards other people who are putting their one foot forward doesn't come up, or you can mitigate that, right? So good morning. I have the phone lines open, and I'm going to give you all 29 minutes to ask me as many questions as you can about the situation that I learned about the guy who was incarcerated, so that you can be able to make an educated decision. And also, for those of you who are psychologists, I want to take a course on psychological interviewing. I want to learn how to interview for psych in the most efficient way, because I'm a life coach. So in my life coaching training, I learned how to interview people for the purposes of life coaching, right? And I also just happen to be a really great interviewer because I'm just naturally curious and I like to listen and understand, right? So I listened to this guy for over an hour talk to me and tell me about his situation. And I asked him a lot of questions, and I've got the phone lines open. Wait a minute, Shanti, what is going on? Oh my gracious. FWB is friends with benefits. What on earth? Oh my gracious, you, Shantia, my gracious goodness. You listen, you need to put $1 into the potty mouth pot. My goodness, how, oh, nonetheless, right? FWB's friends with benefits, my goodness. Okay. Let's get into it. Listen, we only have 27 minutes left. So if you want the details of what I learned, you must call in. First person, come on, call in. 323-488-3149. I'm going to give you all the details, but I need you all to ask. Shantea, don't do it now. Don't come with this 10-10. I'm not claiming you. I'm not claiming you. I'm not claiming you. I'm not claiming you. Shantea, call in, please, because I want to get the story out, and we're running down on time. We got 27 minutes left. So come on. Terrible. While you all are doing that, let me pull up my music so that we can have the music queued up. Come on. Why is the phone not ringing?
Too hungry to eat out, too dressed up to stay in.
Hey!
Guess I'll call and ask around.
Come on, call in.
Once and for the win. We all got different highs and no one.
Is the phone lines not working?
No patience.
323-488-3149.
We ain't got nothing to lose.
L exclusively. I'm waiting for a call in.
And me and mine, we take what we want. We are the colors.
I know, right, Tisha? I need to put the disclaimer up because
We are the
I don't know what that was about. My goodness.
We are the highway.
All right, listen, I'm waiting.
And we ain't got nothing.
People are afraid to call in. I need somebody brave enough to call in to ask any questions that you want. Because what I want is when we meet people, the purpose of me having you all call in is because when we meet people, they tell us their version of the story. And we need to be able to decipher between what it is that they're saying and what the truth actually is, right? So 32 Roses is not feeling well right now. You can still call in. L, you can call in. I just need someone to kick it off, because once somebody kicks it off, then other people feel more comfortable to kick it off. Jonah wants to know if international callers can call in. Yes, let me pull up the telegram. All right. Here we go. Jonah, send me a message, and then that way I can call you back. Oh, here we go. Okay. L is driving, so L is not able to call in. I understand it's the time that kids are being dropped off at school and coming. Okay, we got the first call coming in. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Taylor. I'm calling from Dallas.
Okay, Taylor from Rollers. Never heard of the place, but...
Dallas.
Oh, Dallas. Okay. Dallas. All right, so ask me the questions.
Okay, what did he do?
He was selling narcotics and living that fast life. Next question.
Okay, you said friends with benefits. So why does he think she owes him loyalty if they were just
Okay,
friends with
so you know
benefits?
what? That's the title. Ask me about the relationship, because I deduced he said it was the person that he was dating. Ask me some questions to determine whether or not this person was an FWB.
Okay. Were they in an exclusive relationship? Did they live together?
No, he didn't want to commit. He was living that fast life. He didn't want to commit to her. Ask more questions.
Okay, and what exactly? Why is he upset? Because she left? Because she's not putting money on his books? Like,
Well,
did she
he's
completely
he
ghost him,
he's
or
not upset. He says he's not upset. He says he takes accountability. He accepts it for what it is because he's had growth. I understand. I'm not mad at
well,
all.
they all say that when they get to prison.
Okay, ask more questions. Ask more questions.
um, I don't know, Tonya. You're not giving me a lot to ask questions about.
Ask questions. Ask questions. What are you curious about?
How long is he going to be in there?
He was in for 5 years.
So he's out now.
He's out. I met him at the passport office. He's out.
Oh, is he trying to get back with her?
He wanted to be with her while he was in, yes. He wanted to build with her while he was inside.
Is she trying to reach out to him now that he's out?
Well, she left him while he was in there. She left him while he was in there. All right, I got another call calling in with somebody with some new questions. All right, thank you so much for calling.
Okay.
All right, my dear. All right, okay. I just missed that call that just came in. It looks like Jonah wants to call in. So let's see what Jonah has to say. Let's see, because I want you all to ask all the questions that you want. Ducky says this is weird. Okay, okay. True Poetic, good question. All right, Jonah, you're on the air live with Tonya TKO. Where are you calling in from?
From Germany.
All right, Germany in the building. All right, let me know if you can hear Jonah's audio. Ask the questions that you want to know. This is not hypothetical, D, at all. This is for real.
So I can ask any question that I want, right?
Yes, because I interviewed him for over an hour, so I know a lot. So
Okay,
ask me
so
more.
why did he feel like to date when he was in prison? Why did he feel like he wanted to date someone when he was in prison?
Well, listen, so he was getting his life together and he was changing. He was doing all the things and being the person that she deserves.
How long was his prison sentence?
5 years.
And when did they meet?
They met 2 years.
How many years was he in when they met?
Oh, good question. He had known her for 2 years before he went in.
Okay, so that means they were like friends, or are they from school, or where did they know each other from? What's their
They knew each
story?
other. They knew each other from the neighborhood, and so the girl and his sister are really cool friends. So they're very, very close. He knew her for 2 years before he went in.
So she knew that he was selling drugs?
She knew. She knew he was living that fast life, and she liked the money.
So he went in, she already knew that he was selling drugs. And when they met 2 years after he was sentenced,
No,
or when they came
before.
together,
They met 2 years before he went in.
oh, okay, so when he went in, they were already together.
Yes.
Okay, I see. And why did it end?
Well, for the first 6 months, she was calling him every day, coming to visit, going to his court appearances. Then after about 6 months, between 6 months and a year, she kind of started falling off. The energy changed, she shifted, and things just started getting a little less, and he could feel something was up. She started
So
dating
she
someone
wasn't,
else.
according to him, So according to him, she wasn't as into him anymore.
Right, right. And then he found out from his
But he
sister that she started dating someone
but he
else.
found out what?
He found out from his sister that the girl he was seeing was now dating someone else.
Okay, I see. So okay, coming back to the question, so he started to change when he was in prison, and he was with her before. So why wasn't he, if he's so changed, why wasn't he when he was in prison saying, you know what, when I'm out and when you're still free and available, why not try it then? Because when you're in jail, it's kind of difficult to date or not.
Well, because sex is only 10, according to him, sex is only 10% physical, it's 90% mental. So, with them getting to know each other in
So that
jail,
means they were having sex when he was in prison?
no, they had intercourse before he went into
No.
prison.
Okay, I see. And when she started to pull back in those months, what did he try to do?
Well, he was just reaching out, calling her, trying to see what was up. And so he's able to make phone calls from in there because I guess you have to have some money on your books in order to make these phone calls. So he's able to make phone calls, and he just started trying to find out what's the matter, what's going on, encourage her to stay in the relationship.
And what did she say when
She
he was trying to like find out and stuff like that?
So at first she was just kind of saying, no, it's nothing, it's nothing. And then she just started getting kind of disrespectful with him, arguing with him and saying stuff that's kind of out of pocket.
Okay, and when she started to be okay, no, hold on, before we come to that. So you said that the sister told him that she was seeing other guys.
Yep.
And when he found that out, did he confront her, or what did he do with that information? Because according to you, they're together, right?
Are they together? Ask the question. How do you determine?
Okay, they were in a friend. Okay, they were in a, I guess, in that friends with benefits situation. So when he found out, did he confront her, or what did he do?
He confronted her
From his
and
sister when he.
yeah, he confronted her, and she was like, "Well, listen, I got needs. I'm going to go in this direction."
And then well, how did he respond to that?
He, you know,
So
he
she said
he was trying to keep her in the
she's
relationship. He was trying to keep her in the relationship.
okay, okay. But okay, so should I give my opinion on this, or should I ask more
Do
questions?
you
I'm
have
kind of
enough
like a
it do
little
you
bit
have
in
do
the
you
middle.
do you have enough information to even ask questions? I mean, to give your opinion. Do you have enough information to give your opinion, and give your opinion on what?
Okay, let me ask a couple more. Let me ask a
Ask two
couple
more
more questions
questions, and then I'm
before I
going to
give
take
more.
another
Okay.
call. I want Shanti. You don't have to be. Anybody can call in. Anybody can call in. The phone lines are open 323-488-3149. Because listen, I want you all to be able to understand what you're looking for when you're talking to people. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, then how do you know what you're being told? This is not, you didn't miss anything, Chrissy. This is the beginning. Go ahead. Ask two more questions.
So they weren't in a relationship because friends. Okay, so friends with
I
benefits
I
is friends
use
with
I
benefits,
use the
right? So
word I use the word FWB for the title. How do you
okay,
determine what
okay.
their relationship was?
So was he allowing her when everything was still good? When he first got in, was she allowed to see other guys? Yes or no?
When he first got in,
Mm-hmm.
well, now at this
Like
point, he
in
wants the
general,
bill.
when he was in, and even before,
Okay,
was she allowed to see other guys or not?
good question. So she was seeing other people when he was not in.
And was he seeing other women as well?
He was seeing other women before he went in.
Guess one is full of shit.
All right. All right. You asked your question, so let me take the next caller to ask some more questions, okay?
Okay.
All right. 323-488-3149. I want somebody to call in and ask the questions that you want to know the answers to be able to find out what the situation really is. You're on the air live with Tonya TKO. What's your name and where you calling from?
Sorry. Hi, Tonya, this is Christine. I'm
Oh,
calling from Albany.
you're calling from Albany?
Ohio?
Oh, Ohio. Hi, Christine. It sounds like you're at work. So go ahead.
Yes.
Get someplace where you can ask the questions. If you got to run to the bathroom and slip into a stall, let's get you there first, okay? You don't have to say anything until you get
Yeah.
there. How much time do you
Yeah,
need?
I'm good.
Oh, you're good now. Okay, go ahead. So ask the
Yeah.
questions.
So my first question was, how old is this guy?
He's 47.
Ooh. Okay, and was he homeless before going to prison?
No, he had a lot of money before he went to prison.
Um, um, and besides what he was doing, did he ever have a real job?
You know that I did not ask. That I did not ask,
Okay.
but it sounded to me from what I gathered is that that was the life that he was living. That's what he knew how to do. That's what he was doing, and that's what he did. It didn't sound like he had a different job before he went in.
Okay, and now that he's out and she's no longer, um, I guess providing benefits, does he have somewhere to live? Is he homeless now?
He was able to move in with family when he first got out.
Okay. Um, and I guess my other question is, what is he doing at the passport office? Can he even get a passport?
Apparently he can, and he got one. So he did get a
Oh wow.
passport.
Um, I don't know. I feel like he's just looking for another woman to mooch off of, and this one is
What
moved
this
on.
is you pulling your opinion from what? You haven't asked enough questions. You have to separate yourself and what it is that you think from what it is that you're hearing. You must gather enough information before you create any type of conclusion, and you haven't asked enough questions.
Did he say why she left, or why she didn't want anything to do with him?
After about 6 months, she just started to kind of drift away. She was looking out for him while he was in there, going to visit him and all of that for the first 6 months. After 6 months, she just started kind of pulling away.
I'm having a hard time. I'm trying to figure out, did he give her any reassurance for staying with him?
Well, yeah, once he got in, then, he wanted commitment.
Uh, so
Once
the
he,
commitment only came after he went in?
yeah, the desire for commitment only came after he was locked down. So someone on Twitch has a question. Call in. Telephone number is 323-488-3149. All right. So listen, you ask another question, and I'm going to let you go and take the next caller.
Okay, did he ever, so he never offered commitment until he went in. And once he
Exactly.
left, that's okay. All right, I don't think I have any more questions. I
All
feel
right.
like
All
he
right.
lost what he had. So yeah. All
All
right.
right. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. So there's some questions that you all are not asking. And there's so much information that I have. There's so much information that I have. So call in 323-488-3149. Let's get the questions. Let's get the questions rolling. We have about 10 more minutes of questions. So call in, call in, call in. So Mystic says, Tanya, did he come on to you, try to get you to sympathize with him? How do you know when someone is coming on to you? How do you know? You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name and where you calling in from?
Hi, I'm calling from Bedford Stuyvesant. I'm Roberta.
Hey, Roberta from
Yes,
Brooklyn. All right, so talk
yes.
to us. Questions. Ask your questions.
My question is, did she find out that there were other women coming to see him and doing for him?
Well, there weren't other women coming to see him.
Okay.
It was her.
Only her.
Yep, it was her.
Did she maybe find out that he was DL? I don't know.
You know, I did not ask him about sexual relationships with men in prison because we got so caught on this relationship dynamic that he had with this woman. So the story as it goes is 6 months in, she started acting funny. Between 6 months and a year, she just started kind of pulling back, started getting disrespectful with him. He called his sister to find out and asked his sister what was going on. His sister found out that she was dating and seeing other guys openly and looking for a relationship. She had met a guy that she'd really liked.
Okay. Well, what did he think he had to offer her in jail? What did he?
Okay. So he was changing. He was becoming the man that she deserves. He was reading books. He was getting knowledge of self. He was changing as a human being. He was no longer running the streets.
He couldn't. He couldn't run the street. He's locked up. What is he talking about?
Right. Right. He was no longer running
So
the
he's
streets.
he's isolated. He's locked up, and he wants her to believe because he's locked up and he's isolated that okay, he's going to do the same thing when he gets out. He's going to stay just to her.
Right. Exactly. Because he was changing. He got
Why
knowledge
do
of
he
self.
think? Why do he think that she would even believe that when he didn't do that when he was out?
Because he was
Why?
telling her. Because he was telling her that. All right. I'm going to grab the next call, okay?
Okay.
All
All right.
right.
Okay.
You're on the air live with Tanya, TKO. What's your name and where you calling from?
Good morning, Tanya. My name is Raven, and I'm calling from California.
All right, we got Raven from California on the line. Ask the questions.
Well, while I was waiting, I heard the last lady ask one of the questions that I was going to ask, and that was, did she find out that he was having relations with women? I mean, excuse me, with other men. But I think you said something about you didn't
Right.
ask that question. Was she? Was he doing things for her while he was in prison? Is one of my questions. Like, was he sending her money and stuff like that?
Well, when he was in prison, his situation had changed because the money that he was getting from dope. He was the dope boy. So the money he was getting, he didn't have anymore. So now he was in a position of need.
Okay. Did he put her in a position where she would have been taking chances with her own freedom, like doing things for him in the behind the prison walls that would have possibly gotten her in trouble? Was he trying to get her to do that kind of
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
Okay. Does she have children?
He has a child. His child is
Did
now
she,
14.
okay, does she have children?
She does not have children.
She does not have children. Okay. So she started drifting away after 6 months. And she was seeing people already before they went in. He was seeing people already before he went in, but claimed to wanted to commit to her. She started drifting away. It was confirmed that she started seeing someone else.
Yep, she started seeing someone else, a man who had a lot of money.
No, I mean, okay. 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 I don't have any more questions. That's
Really? Oh
it.
my goodness. I need you all to come with the questions. There's so much information I have, but you all are not asking the questions. Come on, ask me one more question. Stretch your mind, and
Okay.
then I'll let you go, and I'll take the next caller.
Okay. I'm trying to put myself in her position, which is kind of hard to do, but um, she started drifting away. Did he like just change up how he was to her in prison? Like, was he
Yeah, he changed.
mean and
No,
aggressive?
he changed up. He started doing the right thing. He started reading. He started learning knowledge of self. He started investing in his education. He stopped running the streets.
Oh, okay. Well, was she no longer attracted to him because he was trying to do the right thing?
You know, that's a good question. That's a good question, but we can't answer from her point of view because remember, we're only
Okay.
talking to him. You know what I mean? Well,
Oh,
how do we know
yes,
what's.
yes.
See, the reason why I'm having you all ask these questions is because when you're talking to people, when you're meeting men and women out there, what are the questions that you're asking? And are those questions getting you to the truth? What is the truth when you hear a person's answer?
Mhm. Yeah. Um. Well, shoot. They already in the situationship.
How do we
Okay.
know they were in a situationship? Ask me a question about their relationship.
Well, I kind of been listening, so I have a little bit.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to take the next call then. Thank you so much for
Okay.
calling in. You're in the air live with Tonya TKO. What's your name and where you calling in from?
Good morning. This is Tiara. I'm calling from California.
Hi, Tiara from California. It's early out there, my girl. So
Yeah,
ask some
yeah.
questions. Ask some questions. So we know some things, but we know really very little. So ask some questions.
All right. So one of my questions would be, why did it take him to be incarcerated for him to finally want to make a change? When he was free the whole time prior to him being locked up.
Well, he was living that fast life, selling that dope, right? Oh, he was out there selling his drugs, living the fast life. And it wasn't until he had to stay still that he realized, oh, let me invest in myself. Let me read.
Okay.
Let me change.
Okay. And in doing that within himself, did he not ever want to give her grace and say she may not want to ride this journey with me?
Okay, well, how do we determine whether or not he wanted to give her grace? What question would you ask?
Um, if I'm changing, does she also have the right to change within that same parameter? Does she
Okay, well,
also have
what question would you
the
ask him?
um would you be upset if she chose not to ride this new version of you while you're incarcerated?
Nah, he says he ain't upset. He says he's all good with it. How do we know whether or not he's telling the truth about being all good? Canster, can you call in? Ask me some more
Um,
questions. And it's time for us to get up and dance. Talk to me. Ask some more questions.
um, what are ways that he can express that he genuinely knows that he is okay? It's one thing to vocalize and say, I'm okay with her wherever she is, but what are your actions saying? What,
Well, he's
um,
calling her every day. He's talking to her for hours on the phone every day. He's reading. These are the things.
okay. What are your conversations with her now that y'all are just friends? Is it strictly
They don't talk
platonic?
anymore. They don't talk anymore. Mm-mm. They don't talk anymore.
Okay. Um, hmm. I think it's just I appreciate, the questions and wanting to deep dive, but I think I need more context.
I will ask the questions. What do you need context on?
Um, what was life like between them before he got locked up?
What would the question be? What was life like in terms of what? What's the question?
Uh, was it platonic before you got locked up, or was it romantic? Was it
Great question. Great question. So, instead of the word platonic, what would you ask? That's clear because how does a person determine platonic? Ask the
okay?
question about their relationship.
Okay, so more direct question: were
Yeah.
y'all in a committed relationship?
They were not in a committed relationship. He did not want to
Okay,
commit because he was living that fast life and running the streets.
okay, and when you were running the fast life in the streets, are these expectations that you were just having for me, or are
Nope,
these
he didn't expect no commitment from her. He didn't want commitment from her when they were out. I'm going to take the next call, okay? Because I want to get all of these questions in. All right?
okay, wonderful. You have a great
All
morning.
right. All right, there's some key things people are not asking. There was a call that I just missed. Let me refresh and see. The call-in number is on the screen right here, 323-488-3149. I missed a call, but it is time. Call in and ask the questions. It's time to get up. Shantia, if you can't call in on the regular number, call in or send me a message on Telegram. And if you don't have the Telegram app on your phone, download it and send me a message there and I will holler back. Let's get this last call and then you're on the air live with Tonya TKO. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Miss Lewis, Maryland.
All right, we got Miss Lewis from Maryland in the house. Okay, so ask the questions. What question do you have?
Did he become a Christian?
Well, he became religious when he was inside.
That's all I have to say.
That's the only question. Did he become a Christian?
Yes.
He did take up religion. He did become religious once he went inside, yes.
And he's still in prison.
He's out. I met him yesterday.
Okay.
That's the only question you have?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not enough
What
giving.
is not enough? What is not enough?
Maybe because I just getting on.
Okay. Oh, I see. So people are coming in at different times. So you're not sure. So for those of you who are just coming in, what we're doing is I met a guy yesterday at the passport office. I was there getting an emergency passport. And so when you get an emergency passport, you go in. If you're flying within a certain amount of time, they'll give you your passport the same day, but you have to wait there all day. So while I was there all day, I met different people and was talking to them. One of the people that I met was an ex-convict, and we talked for hours. And I asked him questions because the story that he told me, this is the story he told me. My girl left me when I was inside. And she dated somebody else. She left me. And when I got out, she was gone. She decided she wanted a man with money, but when I was giving her that money, everything was good. But when I got locked up, she left me. That is the story he told me. And the reason we are doing this exercise is because we meet people who tell us stories. We tell stories. You know how it is. When you talk to somebody and you know you want a certain type of advice, you tell them the story in a certain way. Because you want what it is that you want them to believe. How do we get past people's defenses? What questions do we ask so that we can get a clear understanding that bypasses their ego, that bypasses the way that they're interpreting information? What is the truth? How do we get to the truth? He said his girl left him when he was in prison. How do we determine whether or not that's true?
I got you. Now it makes sense and it's clear. Thank you.
Oh, is it? What's clear?
The background of this conversation
Okay.
of the ex-convict.
Okay. Thank you. We're going to take a dance break now. All right. And then once we come back from our dance break, we're going to talk to Jonah again. If you want to call back in, that is cool. Like if you've heard and you want to, because I feel like at the end, I'm going to have to give all of the details that I know, but I'm finding it surprising that you all are not asking particular questions. How do we determine whether or not this was his girl? How do we determine how he truly feels about it? He's claiming he doesn't care. He's like, oh, it is what it is. How do we determine, right? Tracy says, put the man on the live. I honestly wouldn't give him airtime, and I didn't give him my phone number. I didn't give him a way to contact me after we left the office. I didn't. And then also, you know, listen, let's take our dance break now. Let's see what we're gonna do for this dance break. Okay, let's do that.
Fast cars don't appeal to us. We run things, don't talk it through.
All right, here we go. Let's go to the very beginning. All right, get up out your seat and move. Let's listen.
Too hungry to eat out, too dressed up to stay in. I guess I'll call and ask around to see if someone's in for the win. And we all got different highs, and no one likes to wait.
That was fun. If you move to that, you got 3 minutes and 32 seconds of movement. Oh, that was fun. That was fun. All right, let's get our apples. If you want to drop a question in through the apples, it's $Tanya TKO. It is there. Let us. What happened to our music? Oh my goodness, what happened? Did I turn? Oh, I turned it down. Oh, all right. So, Zalisha, what's this? I'm messing up. All right, Zalisha sent through $5. All right. And Shanti sent through 2. It says for the FWB faux pas. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Whew. All right. All right. So we're going to open back up the phone lines. Whew. We're going to give this a few more minutes. Whew. That was fun. I hope you all got up for that dance break. Whew. Whew. That was really good. All right, phone lines are open. We're going to talk to Jonah again. All right. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I hear you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Jonah from Germany again.
All right, we have Jonah from Germany. All right, so talk to me. What are your questions now? Let's follow up and see what we have. Oh, wait, hold on. My thing fell out my ear. Hold on. All right. There we go. I got you back. Ask your question.
How old was the lady that he was seeing?
They were around the same age. I'm gathering that she was a little bit younger. I should have asked that question and I thought about it, but that was one question that I didn't get in because there was so much other juicy stuff going on. But that is a relevant question. That is very relevant, but I didn't get that.
Okay, but he's 46, right?
He's 47 now.
Okay. And what was the profession of the girl or of the woman?
Thank you. Great question. So she worked in she had like a professional job. She was like an engineer or something like that, where she had a profession where she was something along the lines of an engineer or something like that.
So she went to school. She had a degree.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the favorite thing he liked about her?
Well, she was
some qualities that he liked about her.
She was very proper. He used to call her a politician, like a famous politician's wife, because there's a famous politician we all know. He used to call her this politician's wife's name because she was so proper. She was so educated. She was so just well-grounded and spoke with such diction and enunciation, and her education just dripped from her.
So did he feel like she was something like his soulmate or like a deep love or not? Yes or no?
I didn't ask that question, but that is a good question. What it is that I gathered from talking to him, this is what I gathered. I gathered that she was the best candidate that he felt for him when he was inside.
So why didn't he commit to her then, or why didn't he seek a relationship or marriage with her before he went in?
Because he was a dope boy. He was running the streets. He was concentrating on making that money.
But being a doper doesn't necessarily mean you don't seek relationships or.
Well, he was concentrating on the money, on building his empire. He was concentrating on just on making money. That was his focus. Settling
Okay, and
down and having a
what does he do
relationship.
for what does he? Oh, okay. And what does he do for a living now?
He says he owns a company. He says he owns a company that that does he owns a B2B company. Let's just put it that way. He says he owns a B2B company.
Okay, so he's an entrepreneur,
So he
or
says, but how do we know whether or not the entrepreneuring is working? What questions do we ask?
where does he live, and where does he live right now? Is he living in an apartment, in a house, near the cities or suburbs?
That is a good question. Currently, he is living in an apartment. And what I gathered is he's not living in an affluent area. That's what I gather.
Okay. And his company, are other people working in there, or is he working alone?
Oh, you know what? That's actually a good question that I did not ask. And part of the reason that I didn't ask, I don't want to laugh. Part of the reason that I didn't ask is because he told me that while he was waiting for, because we had to wait there all day. Me, I had a book. I know to stand up every few hours and well, I know to stand up every few, and walk around so that I keep my blood flowing, right? I
Mm-hmm.
stayed in the office because I didn't want to go back through the security check and all of that. So I stayed in the office. He went out to go get a bagel or some breakfast. When he came back, he told me that he wanted to get orange juice, but he couldn't because his his bank account wasn't going to clear the purchase of the orange juice. Or he said juice. He wanted to get some juice, but his bank account wasn't going to clear the purchase of the juice. And
What?
he just,
But what is his relationship status now? Is he single?
that's a good question. He's not single anymore. Not single anymore.
Okay, so is he married since he became a Christian in jail?
He did
Or
not become a Christian in jail. He found religion. See, this is what I'm saying. We have to listen and we have to ask the questions.
okay, so what's his religious like what is his what does he have a religion right now? What does he practice if he says he's changed?
Do you know
What
what
did
a do you
he
know what a 5 percenter is?
placenta? What?
Five percenter.
No, what is that?
Okay, Google 5 percenter, you all, and see 5 percenter. So it's a sect of Islam that was created, I believe, in prison. I believe. I'm not sure, but Google 5 percenter. What is a 5 percenter? I'll Google
Okay,
it
hold
too
on.
because I looked it up many years ago. Okay, I just Googled it. 5 percenter. I'll put it up on the screen. So, the 5% nation, also known as the Nation of Gods and Earth, or simply 5 percenters, is a black nationalist religious movement founded in Harlem, 1964, by Clarence 13X, an offshoot of the Nation of Islam. I believe this was founded in prison, but he's a 5 percenter. So, this is a good question. This is a good question.
So is he married right now to his
He is not.
partner?
He is not.
How long have they been together?
They've been together about somewhere between 6 months and yeah, they've been together for about 6 to 9 months, something like that.
Okay, and what does she do for a living?
I didn't ask much about her. I didn't ask much about her.
Okay. But what was his biggest lesson that he learned in jail, according to him?
Well, the biggest lesson that he learned in jail was about getting knowledge of self, that self-development is an
Okay.
inside job, that you have to invest in your development.
Okay. And when the woman who he was seeing in the beginning, when they weren't committed, when she left, he didn't. You said, or somebody said that he didn't care about that. It wasn't like he was bitter about it, but he didn't like really try to get her back, right?
He tried for a long time because he was locked up.
Okay, I see. But if he claims to have changed, right? Isn't part of that also accepting that other people can also have different life paths?
Yeah, that is, but so this is the thing. How do we determine his attitude about that? How do we find out the real truth? Because he's saying, "Oh, I don't care, I let her go, I let her live her life." But how do we find out the real truth?
But if he wouldn't care, like if he doesn't care and it's okay, why was he then trying to get her back and was so bitter or
How do we
like
determine
pressed
whether or
about it?
not he's bitter?
Because he confronted her and the sister was telling him and he was
Mhm.
clearly upset about it. So it means he clearly cared, and
Yes.
he tried he tried to get her over and tried to get her back over a longer period of time. So he clearly cared. Like it wasn't like
Uh-huh.
he completely let her go.
Right, exactly, exactly, exactly. But how do we know that he's bitter? And these are some great questions. I'm going to take one more call and then I'm going to just tell the whole story. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Jonah. All right. So we're going to take a call, one last call, and then I'm going to tell the whole story so that we could
Hello,
you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Miss Lewis. I had called before.
Okay, you said Miss Miller.
Lewis,
Oh, Miss
Lewis.
Lewis. Okay, great. Miss Lewis. Okay, ask your questions.
Did he die while in prison?
Did he
While he was in?
did he what?
Did she die while he was in prison?
No, she's still alive.
Okay.
She's still alive. What? Ask another question.
Um,
That's it?
did she get married?
She's not married, but she did date someone.
Do they still live in the same place or town?
They still live fairly close to one another. But the tri-state area is so big that you can live very close to someone and never see them.
That's it.
All right, thank you so much. I want one last caller, please. One last caller, and then I'm going to tell the whole story. Dari, don't complain about the callers when you haven't called in. Let's not do that now. Be brave enough to call in and ask your own questions because if you are listening, then you have good questions. So let's come on. Call in, Dari. Call in. Take the chance to call in. And then I'm going to have to tell the story because I have an appointment at 10. So did he appear to be moved on? No, he's talking about this now. Of course he hasn't moved on if he's still talking about this now. All right. All right. All right. So one last call. Come on. 323-488-3149. The number is on the screen. The Cash App is on the screen. Did he appear to have an illness? He did not appear to be in thriving, buoyant health. I mean, But what does, look, people, all types of stressors can make us look away. So one last call, one last caller, one last caller. Come on, come on, come on. The time is running down because I want to have enough time to tell the whole story. So one last caller, please. Please, 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 please. One last caller, 323-488-3149. Even if you called in before. It's on the screen, Dari. You see it moving right there. You see 3, 2, 3, 4, 8, 8, 3, 1, 4, 9. I'm looking forward to you calling in, Dari, because if you've been watching this whole time and you have a good understanding of what we've been talking about, call in, ask your questions, and then we're going to jump into the whole story. All right? Oh, darn it. Okay. I had the... All right.
Hello.
You're in the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Tonya. I'm Nicole. I'm calling from South Carolina.
Hi, Nicole. Ask your questions. Ask your questions.
Okay. What is his definition of a relationship?
Well, from what it is that I gathered, he knew that he wasn't in a relationship with her when he went in. He knew that they were not exclusive.
Okay. And what were his actions toward her during their relationship before he went to jail?
He was spending money on her. No, well, then how do you find out whether or not because a person who's abusive is not going to tell you. So what questions do you ask to find out whether or not a person is abusive? According to him, she liked going out. He would spend money on her and to buy her little things here and there.
So,
ask your question quickly because time is running. Ask your last question.
What are his expectations of trying to be in a relationship with her since he's currently with a partner?
Well, he doesn't want a relationship with her now because he has a partner now.
So why is he still trying to get in contact with her?
He's not trying to get in contact with her anymore. See, we have to ask these questions. He's not trying to get in contact with her anymore, according to him. According to him. All right, let me grab the next caller, okay? Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hey, Mama, talk to me. You're on the air, so you have to listen to me on the phone and stop listening to the broadcast in the background because it's a little delay. So talk to me.
Hey, my question is, so what does he have to offer since he's out of prison?
Well, he's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man.
Did he get a degree while he was in prison?
He says he's currently in school.
Doing what?
What? I didn't even ask that because from the presentation, I didn't even bother. I didn't even bother.
So he had 5 years in prison. He doesn't have a degree. No degree.
Well, he said he had a degree and he's currently in school. He claims he went to college, but I don't know I don't know what the truth actually is with that now. I don't know what the truth is. Ask another question.
47?
You're an ass. You know that. You're an ass.
I
can't. Thank you so much for calling.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gracious. Oh, my gracious. You know what? We need to talk about that story. If somebody can send me any news broadcast on the 62-year-old woman. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Tonya. This is Shantea from Ohio.
Oh, Shantea. Finally, you got through. All right. So ask your questions.
People pretty much asked a lot of the questions that I was going to ask, but I was asking, did he when you were interviewing him, did he happen to say anything about? Did he speak about her in a way like was it like negative, positive? Did he like mention anything about his family or
Well,
familial
okay, that's
relationship?
a good question. That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. So, according to him, his sister went to her and said, "Listen, you invested all of this time in my brother. He's incarcerated now. He's doing the things that you said that you wanted in a man. He's changing. You've invested all of this time. Some other woman is going to come along and reap the benefits of all that you have invested. You don't want that, do you?"
Okay. I wanted to apologize about because it was early in the morning. I had just got up
Oh
about
no,
the.
it's all. I don't care about that. 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 Ask another question. Time is ticking down.
Let me see. His son, is he like his mother of his son? Is he? Does he have any type of like negative or positive relationship with her?
Oh, you know what? That's a really good question. And I didn't even ask about the mother of the son because this it got so juicy talking about this woman that he was with.
Oh,
So I
okay.
can get a mental picture. But that's a good question. That's a good question. That's a good question. So
Uh,
so ask another
I
question.
think that's. I
Okay.
think that's pretty much it
All
because
right.
everybody else
All
asked
right. Let
all the
me grab the
questions.
next call. Thank you, Shantea. All right. I just had to grab that real quick. You're in live with Tanya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, Tonya. This is Derry. I'm from Texas.
I didn't hear you. Your name is what?
Derry I'm from
Oh,
Texas.
Derry, I'm so glad you called in. All right, good. So you've been watching, so you know all of the answers that have come through. So
Yes.
what is your question?
Now I have one question. I don't know if it was asked because I left for a second. Did he run out of money when he was in there?
Mm.
Like, was he, because some men pay bills from prison.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had one, but I've had a couple friends that had men that were able to
Mm.
pay their bills from prison. They went in with money and they came out with more money. So did he run
Mm.
out of money while he was in there, and then there was no reason for her to be there anymore? Was there a switcheroo where she was having to put money on his books now?
All right. So from what it is that I gathered, she was putting money on his books. She
Mm.
was sending him something, something. And times did get kind of tough with him in there because he did tell me a story about how the people he met in prison really became his brothers because when he
Mhm.
would run out and they would be like, here, come on, they would break the ramen noodle pack in half and give half to
Mhm.
him, keep half for themselves. So this is what I heard from him.
Okay. And my next question is, did she somehow? Because he's telling you one thing, but we all know that when men are in prison, like you just said, they get down and out. You need money in there. They do feed you. As a
Mm-hmm.
person who's been to jail a couple times, I've never been to prison. They do feed you, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? You need commissary. You need hygiene. You need these things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, was there multiple women, and somehow she found out?
From what it is that I gathered, from what I gathered, she was the only one.
From what you gathered. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell a quick 2 second story. When I
Mm-hmm.
was 20, my boyfriend went to basic training. I thought I was the only one. I somehow found the page of his platoon on Facebook, and I found his girlfriend. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's so funny how news travels from jail really fast. My next question is: did she find out that he was somehow a booty bandit? Did she find out he was like doing homophobic things in there?
Yeah,
Like
so
I guess you don't know.
yeah,
Like,
I didn't ask about the homo stuff. I wanted
hmm
to find out about that. And I honestly, the last time I asked a man about the last time I asked a man about homosexual interaction in prison, the conversation got volatile.
oh
So
well.
yeah. I mean, as you can imagine. So we're in
I can
public.
see
We're
how.
in a passport office, and I
Yeah.
thought to myself, I could ask that question. One, am I going to get the truth? Two, what is the cover up going to look like? And then 3, do I need that information for what it is that I'm talking about? So the last time I asked a man that in person, the conversation got really volatile. And so
Hmm.
I honestly didn't want to invoke that type of potential danger. Do you know what I mean?
I fully understand. Do you think, I guess, yes, this is really just a question for you. Do you think that she woke up herself and was like, man, he did not want to be exclusive with me before he got locked up? Another short story. My daddy was in prison for most of my life. He had a girlfriend. He went twice. The first time he went, he had a girlfriend before he went back, and they were together for a long time before he went back. He cheated on her and dogged her out and then wanted to marry her when he went back to prison.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got married. So a lot of men like to play those type of games where you always been the one, you know that girl. And then maybe like, do you think that there's some type of way that she was like, I don't have to do this. He didn't even want me for real before he went. Why would I do this? Why would I
Well,
put money on his book?
these are good questions. However, I want you to ask me
Okay.
what it
What you,
is. So ask me something that will determine the extent of their relationship.
did he ever try to propose to her in the 5 years?
Listen, they didn't make it 5 years because she left after the first year.
After the first year. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I
she
did miss
left him
that.
after the first year.
During the first year, did their relationship change, like their communication?
It did.
Were they not?
So, Dari,
Okay.
you talking about somebody else not listening? That question was answered. 6 months
I told you
in.
I missed some. I had to leave. I had a phone
So
call.
you
So
see
I
how
wasn't here the
we
whole
get
time.
spicy with people in the comments, but then it also applies to us. How do you feel at this
It
moment?
was a little jokey joke. I didn't feel
Okay.
anything. It was a joke.
Well, but
I
if we
wasn't, I'm gonna
but if we don't know people, how are they going to take things like jokes? They don't know us. We in the comments, we faceless. They on the phone having the
Oh
courage.
yeah, that's fine. Well,
So
I'm
now
not that
I
person.
want somebody to type, Dari, did you even listen? Type that in the comments with a LOL.
See, I don't get upset, sister. I'm laughing. I'm not upset. So what was the answer to that though? Because I was gone for that. I
So
didn't hear that.
6 months, she was going to his court dates. She was showing up. She was visiting him. Everything was all good. It was nice. She was
Wait,
putting.
pause. In the court days, did she? Oh, well, you wouldn't know. Never mind. I can't ask you that. Never mind.
What?
You wouldn't. Did
Oh.
she run into somebody else that was there for
Oh
him
yeah,
at
no,
the
I
court
wouldn't
date?
know that. I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know
Okay.
that. So, but yeah, so for 6 months, she was going to the court dates. She was doing all of this. She was putting money on the book. She was called. They were talking every day for hours for 6 months. After about 6 months, things started to cool off a little bit. By the end of the second 6 months, which was a year, she was seeing someone else. She started getting real loud with him, being kind of disrespectful, talking out of character, and all this other stuff.
That tends to happen when men run out of money.
You're so funny. Let me take the next call, okay, Ma?
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Hello.
You're on the air live with Tonya TKO. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, my name is Christy. I'm calling from New York.
Oh, we got Christy from New York. Okay, ask your questions, Ma.
All right, so my question is, did he have any form of mental breakdown or any mental health related challenges while he was locked up?
Oh, that is a question I did not ask. I did not ask that question, but that's a good one. That's a good one. What do you think that would tell you?
Maybe he had or some sort of mindset switch, and what he thought that he was interested in is no longer what he's interested in, or maybe he became like enlightened, or maybe
Well,
he just discovered.
he got enlightened while he was in prison. He became religious. He started reading, all this stuff.
Could it have been that maybe she wasn't her religion, if she had a religion, didn't align with his new enlightened religion? Could it be like maybe that?
Well, are we trying to figure out why she left him? Are we? Because,
Well,
I mean, he's incarcerated. I'm trying to find out his mindset because, see, we can't really deduce what somebody else, third party is going through. What we can is kind of talk to the person before us and try to figure out what the truth may be. So he was before me, and I could ask him about other people, but certain things people are not going to admit. Like a man is not going to admit to somebody he doesn't know that he's meeting at the passport office that he was a booty bandit in jail. He ain't going to admit that. And asking could be potentially dangerous for me, right? Because, so I told you all the story about the guy that I found out that he was bisexual, and he started speeding the car and saying he was going to crash us both out in the rain. So I just didn't want, I don't want to take that chance. And I actually did ask someone who went in, somebody who was a friend of mine, and I asked him about that because he went into jail young. Like my friend went into jail when he was a skinny teenager. When he came out, he was unrecognizable. And I asked him about that in jail, and I was joking, and it didn't go very well. It didn't go well. So go ahead.
How were his nonverbal cues that he was giving you when you were talking to him, or when he was answering certain questions?
So that's a good question, and you know what, and that's one of the parts that we don't have here because we can't see his nonverbal cues. But from what it is that I gathered that he was bitter. I gathered that he's not doing as well as he says he's doing. I mean, especially if juice is not going to clear on his debit card, like I gathered that he's still hung up on this woman even though he's in a new relationship. You know what I mean?
Did he mention why he needs the passport? Is he like fleeing the country, or is this like getting away with this new person, or did he not really say anything like that?
So this is what I gathered with the passport, that he wants to travel and he applied for the passport over a month ago, but it never came. He applied for it to be expedited. He bought a ticket he said he bought a ticket and then he was going to refund the ticket. So he got like the temporary ticket, like you can buy with American Airlines, you have 24 hours to make up your mind. And then he's going to cancel his ticket. That's what he says. So he's not traveling right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, those are all my
Well,
questions.
what does that tell you though? What tell me why you're asking that question. What does it tell you?
Is he, with his new relationship, was he planning to maybe just like run away with her to kind of forget about everything that he stated to you?
Listen, he said juice wasn't going to clear on his card. Where the fuck is he going?
That is true.
Where's he running away to, and juice not going to clear on his debit card? So what is the truth? Is he doing well? Is he doing
I think he might then be trying to impress someone then.
Very interesting. Thank you. All right.
Oh, okay, thank you.
All right. So unfortunately, we have come to time, right? I don't know if there's one last call for the last 2 minutes, but it seems like we're going to have to broadcast again. So I'll come back out in an hour. So I'll come back out around 11 a.m. and I'll tell the whole story, right? I'll tell the whole story. You all asked some really good questions and I appreciate this. So I'm going to change the title of today's video, since we didn't even get into the meat and potatoes of it, or the fruit. We didn't get into the fruit and vegetables of it. So, Tisha, that's a good question. So the new man that she was with is not in the street pharmaceuticals industry. He has a good job. He makes a lot of money, right? Cancer, why do you think why do you think he's still talking about her? And are felons not able to get passports? Because he was in the passport office. I was there for a few hours, and so I'm going to tell you, since we have about 1.5 minutes left, right? We could write a psych paper on this, but there's more information that we never got to in this. But when we come back in the next video, I'm going to tell everything. So this is what I saw. I'm going to tell you all what I saw. Okay? When we came in, he was in front of me online, right? There was like this long metal thing barrier. So I had to walk to the end of the block to come around. He was coming around the corner and was able to walk right in. So he was in front of me. I asked him about the jacket that he had on because the jacket, because the jacket represented something that I'm associated with. And so I was like, oh, you're associated with this? And he was like, oh, no, that's just the fashion. So I was like, okay. In the front, the lady could not find his appointment. His appointment was canceled in the system, right? And the appointment was canceled in the system, and I went around him because the lady was like, okay, well, let me see your appointment. She saw my appointment. She got in, and I went through. She was still looking up his. So I went through. I went upstairs. I did the things that I needed to do. I saw him again. When I saw him again, right? He was like, oh, they told me my appointment was canceled. I've been waiting over a month for this, and I sent for it to be expedited. But they said, oh, we see that you have the email, so why was it canceled? This, that, and the other. We don't know, right? So then he said he went to lunch. When he said he went to lunch, that was all that. I went to another room while I was waiting. I put my coat over. I took a nap. I had good dreams. I woke up. I checked on my passport. The passport wasn't ready yet. The one area closed. We had to go into another area. When we went into the other area, he saw me and he approached me. We started talking. This is when we had this more than an hour long interview. They started calling out all of these names. My passport took an additional 45 minutes to an hour after the time that they said it was going to be done. They called all of these different names. They called another person I was talking to. Oh, shoot. I got to get off of here soon because I have an appointment at 10. And then I'll come back and I'll tell, look, I'll tell you all the full story when I come back. My passport was ready before his. After I got my passport, I sat down with him again and I finished up the conversation and I started talking some slick shit to him about the feminine goddess and men being submissive naturally, right? This is what I started doing. After that, I left. I did not see him physically get his passport. I know that he had bumps in the road. So did he get his passport? Did they see and say, oh, felon? No, I don't know. I know that they fucking canceled his shit electronically before he got there. I know that even though he came in behind, so he was in front of me, then came in behind me. I got my passport before him. And when I got my passport, the office was going to be closing in about, let me check my debit card to see when I made a certain purchase. Because I went and I made a purchase yesterday. Let me see. I made a purchase yesterday. Oh, it's asking me. Hold on. Let me go to my wallet because I made a purchase. I can tell you all around what time I left there because the office. Hold on. Because I made a purchase with my. Okay, let's see what time this purchase was. Oh, it doesn't show the time of the purchase. Let me. Okay, so I made this purchase at 3:20. The office was going to be closing in 40 minutes and he hadn't gotten his passport yet. So did he ever get his passport? Me no know. All right, so listen, I have an appointment in 6 minutes. So I am going to go do your dance break right now. I'm going to get up and do a little bit of stretching. When I come back in an hour after my appointment, I'm going to tell you all the whole story. Let me update the titles of these videos to be call in. And then when I come in, I'm going to I'm gonna change the title. So let me copy this, update all. Let me edit the Facebook one, paste, enter, and save. All right. So this right here. I really enjoyed. Hold on. Let me get my. Oh, forget it. Listen, my heart, I feel so full. I really do. Thank you all for participating in this with me. This blessed my life immeasurably. It was a beautiful time that I had with you all today because you all gave me the opportunity to see how other people's minds work, why some of our relationships are going the way that they're going, because of the questions that we are or are not asking. I was able to ask him enough questions in that office to know that I did not want him to be able to contact me after we left the office. It's as simple as that. Because it would have been nice to have brought him on the show and had you all ask him questions, but then he would be tethered to me. You know what I mean? Because one thing that did happen is when we were there and they called out my legal first and last name over the speaker, he was listening for it. So this is the risk that I took by talking to him because they called out my legal name. And so did I then want to give him my phone number and let him know about my show and then bring him on the show? Would you trust him enough to be able to have him associated with your legal government first and last name and then your show and your presence online, having a conversation about him that he may not like? Would you want that? Like if we had to talk about that. So let's get our self-love lessons on the screen. I have 3 minutes and I'm going to start loading up my thing to be able to get into my appointment. So let's do our self-love lessons now, right? Let's do this.
Once you hear the rhythm playing, promise you.
All right, let's do our self-love lessons. Come on. SLL and type out what your self-love lesson is from today's broadcast. I'm just going to pull up my thing so that I can start getting ready. Okay, so I am almost logged in. So I have 2 minutes before I need to get there. So you all know, come on, type SLLs quickly before I need to get out of here. My self-love lesson from all of this is that, what is my self-love lesson? One of my self-love lessons from this is about the importance of being a teacher. My self-love lesson for me is about how important it is for me to continue to develop myself as a teacher, because when I get better, I'm able to offer better to you all, because I see that we need to have more conversations about talking to people. Remember, I was creating that game years ago before the person that I thought was my friend. So remember the game with this? I know that I need to continue this game. I know I need to continue creating that game, because that game will help you be able to ask difficult questions and listen for what the answers are. Okay? So our self-love lesson has positive affirmative in it. I accept myself and others for who they are. I choose who to allow into my life. Yes, S. SLL, know my worth. Yes. Okay, so I have 1 minute before my thing, so let me let you all go. I'm going to be back in 1 hour, and I'm going to tell you all the whole story. My self-love lesson is about the importance of continuing to develop myself. So I will see you all in the next video. I love you all. Peace.